Hey, Salams people, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're well and in good health. Okay, so we're going to take a look at this BBC article about AI and how it could potentially make Rolls-Royce, the famous vehicle company and engineering genius mastermind, the UK's biggest firm. So it says here, Rolls-Royce plans to power artificial intelligence as AI with its nuclear reactors, which could make it the UK's most valuable company, according to the top chief there. The engineering firm has signed deals to provide small modular reactors to the UK and Czech governments. AI has boomed in popularity since 2022, but the technology uses lots of energy, so something which has raised practical and environmental concerns. So Rolls-Royce chief exec Tufan Ergin Bilgic told the BBC it has the potential to become the UK's highest valued company by overtaking the largest firms on the London Stock Exchange. So there is no private company in the world with the nuclear capability we have. If we are not the market leader globally, we did something wrong, he said. He went on to say that he's overseen a tenfold increase in Rolls-Royce share price since taking over in January 2023. However, he has ruled out the idea of Rolls-Royce seeking to list its shares in New York in America, as British chip designer ARM has done, and the likes of Shell and AstraZeneca have considered in the search for higher valuations. Now, this is despite the fact that 50% of shareholders and customers are American based. It's not in our plans. A tech exchange industry veteran, I don't agree with the idea. You can only perform in the US. That's not true, and hopefully, we have demonstrated that. Okay, so Rolls Royce already supplies the reactors that have powered dozens of nuclear submarines. So they go beyond just vehicles and the cars like Rolls Royce, Ghost, Phantom, Cullinan. They're actually involved in a lot of other things as well, such as working with the nuclear sector, nuclear submarines, engineering fees, and so on. And the company has a massive advantage in the future market in terms of technology and other elements there around the nuclear, especially. So SMRs are not only smaller but quicker to build than traditional nuclear plants, with costs likely to come down as units are rolled out. So he estimates that the world will need 400 SMRs by 2050 at a cost of about 3 billion pounds. That's 2.2 billion. It's $3 billion. That's 2.2 billion pounds each. That's another $1 trillion plus market. He wants and expects Rolls-Royce to dominate and take care of. The company has signed a deal to develop 6 SMRs for the Czech Republic government and is developing 3 for the UK here in Britain. But it remains an unproven technology. Mr. Ergin Bilgic conceded he could not currently point to a working SMR example, but said he was confident in its future potential. Right, so there's also concerns about the demands on water supplies from the data center and SMR cooling systems. In response, companies including Google, Microsoft, and Meta have signed deals to take energy from SMRs in the US when they do become available. So similar to Bitcoin, for example, which takes a lot of energy. So the ones who are Bitcoin mining are using lots of energy out there. A lot of data centers are again using energy as well. So Rolls-Royce sees SMRs as key to its future, but its biggest business is aircraft engines. So aircraft engines is where it's at for Rolls-Royce, where they're making the big bucks. Already dominant in supplying engines to wide-bodied aircraft like Boeing 787 and Airbus A350, it plans to break into the next generation of narrow-bodied aircraft like the Boeing 737 and Airbus A320. This market is worth $1.6 trillion, 9 times out of the wide-bodied. So Rolls-Royce is a big player in it's basically a big player in a market that has powerful and successful leaders, and that's the rival Pratt and Whitney lost 8 billion trying and failing to break into. So rivals have lost big money trying to get into this sector. The market is dominated by CFM International, a joint venture between American-based GE Aerospace and French company Aerospace Engines Safran. Industry veterans told the BBC that market leaders can and will drop prices to airline customers long enough to see off basically competition so they could take over market dominance. And then he also, Mr. Ergin Bilicic, said that it's not the biggest business opportunity for Rolls-Royce. Rather, it's for industrial strategy, the single biggest opportunity for the UK for economic growth. No other UK opportunity, I challenge, will match that. You can see then Rolls-Royce share price has surged since the last 2 years. So you can see here 2021 where it was at, right below £2, and 2025 it's above 10, £11 more. You can see there. So, although BMW has owned the Rolls-Royce car brand for nearly 3 decades, the name of the company is still synonymous with British engineering excellence. But in the early part of the decade, that shine had worn off. The company was heavily indebted, profit margins were non existent, thousands of staff were being laid off, sent back home. When Mr. Ergin Bilicic took over in January 2023, he likened the company to a burning platform. So, no one who could have imagined Rolls-Royce was in trouble. Our cost of capital was 12%, our return was 4%, so every time we invested, we destroyed value. 2.5 years later, the company expects to make a profit of a whopping £3 billion. Its debt levels have fallen and shares have risen over 1,000%, a tenfold rise. Wow, amazing. So how did that happen? So, and did Mr. Ergin Bilicic right to think that Rolls-Royce role basically is only just dying? So the time of his appointment was fortunate. According to some industry veterans, Rolls-Royce's biggest business, supply engines to commercial airlines, has rebounded strongly from the pandemic period. The company's most successful product, the Trent series of aircraft engines, are a sweet spot of profitability at the return of investment in their development over a decade ago began to pour into company coffers, so they started to make some good money. Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022 arguably made it almost inevitable that its defense business would see higher spending from European EU governments, which has been confirmed by recent announcements. Unions have not always been fans of Mr. Ergin Bilicic's hard-charging approach. However, in October, a couple of years ago, 2023, one of his first major moves was cutting jobs, which drew criticism from Sharon Graham, the boss of Unite Union. So this announcement appears to be about appeasing the market's shareholders while ignoring its workers, she said at the time. However, overall, global headcount has grown from 43,000 to 45,000. That's an increase of 2,000 since 2023. And union sources say there is grudging respect for Mr. Ergin Bilicic. So that's nearly 5% or somewhere about there increase of staff. So these sources basically give him 1/3 of the credit for the turnaround of the company's fortunes, with a third credit to the market conditions and a third to the predecessor, Warren East, for steadying the ship previously. So Mr. Ergin Bilicic really believes that Rolls-Royce can be the UK's most valuable company, smashing the likes of AstraZeneca, HSBC, and the petrol giant Shell. So we are now number 5 in the FTSE. I believe the growth potential we have creating the company right now is basically in our existing business and our new business. Actually, yes, we have big potential. So Rolls-Royce is undoubtedly a company with the wind at its back, and Tufan Ergin Bilicic certainly believes he has the sales just right place, right time, and he's smashing it right now. So there you see how tech interconnected with artificial intelligence, AI can make Rolls-Royce, with the support of nuclear, potentially the biggest firm in the United Kingdom, a big monopoly. Okay, people, please do like, share, subscribe, comment below. Let us know what you think about AI in Rolls-Royce right now. Check out the links in the description. Support the channel by clicking the join button. Costs a small amount monthly. Help us produce more videos like this. Okay, people, catch you the next one.